Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cheats Movement Podcast, a very special edition. This is brought to you on the Family Podcast Network. I am your host, Cheats, and I am joined by a very special guest, renowned choreographer, founder of the JArchDance company. Jennifer Archibald is in the building. Jennifer, welcome to the Cheats Movement.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I was saying off the air, this is very new to me. I've been podcasting for several years. I've had a blog up for over a decade, and we have never had a ballet choreographer, founder, company owner on the Cheats Movement. And it is an honor to have you because you are in the middle of a very special presentation that is happening right now at the Richmond Ballet. Mm-hmm. It is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Ballet Edition. And if correct me if I'm wrong, help me out here, because it is taken inspiration from the famed movie that we all know with Sidney Poitier. I believe it might be 1967.
Yes.
But it is not a reenactment of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It is your own ballet take. Tell us a little bit about this project, how it came together, and its debut at the Richmond Ballet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a contemporary ballet choreographer, and I fuse a lot of different techniques, to fuse a lot of different aesthetics in movement. And the work I did last year was about the 1921 massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I found that a lot of Black choreographers were being asked to create works about the Black experience, but I wanted to make a work that didn't live in the depths of despair. And Guess Who's Coming Dinner was a movie that was introduced to me from my parents, and I knew it was a movie about love. And even though it was highlighting interracial relationships, I just thought that I could create something that was inspired from that movie, but bring us into what love is today, in terms of looking at all the different relationships. I mean, we haven't have we really. I think there's still a lot of judgment for interracial couples. Sure. And now, as the world is evolving, we're seeing different relationships. We're seeing same gender relationships. We're seeing relationships being challenged with different religions. And I think there's a lot of couples and a lot of people out there that are still fighting to be with the person that they're with. And that was really what I was trying to explore within the work.
Talk to me about the process. So I know you said the movie was introduced to you by your parents. Mm-hmm. We're in a climate and a time where, for better or for worse, people are asking creatives and artists and people like yourselves to create things that are reflective of the Black experience. Mm-hmm. Your approach, and the thing that you already said that was interesting, was you wanted to make a piece of work that would live, contemporary piece of art that would live, that reflects the Black experience in many ways, but not something that is sad or destitute. Look, you're coming off of the Tulsa, what you were saying about the work that you did about the Tulsa massacre, which I'm sure is extremely heavy stuff.
Sure.
Was your process here in this one, did it feel lighter? Did it feel a little bit more love? Tell me about the process and what you're trying to explore and what you found when you got out of it.
I think the topic itself did feel lighter, but I think the importance of the research behind the work is as important, no matter what topic it is. So, when I was brought into, I didn't realize that all of this history with the Lovings happened 45 minutes away from the building.
Absolutely, yep, absolutely.
So that research was able to kind of amplify the importance of the work, and also the importance of the work being created in Virginia. Mm-hmm. But in answer to your question, did it feel lighter? I think You're able, the idea of a Black choreographer walking into a white space and creating work where I have been told by Black patrons that ballet is not made for us.
Mhm.
That when you hear a statement like that as an artist, you definitely feel as though you have a responsibility to try to create stories where you can have an audience that is diverse to come and buy tickets to watch, because a lot of people, there's a lot of Black people don't really, they're not in these seats when you go to see ballet.
Not at all.
And and I think we're now trying to make shifts in the ballet industry where companies are are hiring more Black dancers, and also getting choreographers to share more stories share more stories that really reflect the world and really reflect a diverse world. And I think that's the role that I'm beginning to play within the ballet industry.
One thing that stands out, there's so many things that stand out about this particular piece of work, and whether it's the diversity in the dancers, but one of the things I have marveled at is that this uses music from
Yeah.
Ray Charles, correct? And is it Donny Hathaway as well?
And Sam Cooke.
Not typical ballet music,
No,
right?
Sam Cooke and even having Nat King Cole. I mean,
Right.
these are legendary voices, legendary Black voices that are carrying the movement throughout the storytelling. And I think that those are voices that were loved by all races.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a lot of time making sure that I chose these these voices that carried a lot of hope through the civil rights movement. And it just kind of adds to the idea that you don't always have to come into a ballet and hear classical music or hear Fred Astaire or Frank Sinatra or whatever these, there's definitely been classic ballet masterpieces
Mm-hmm.
that have stayed within the ballet repertories for years. And I think I'm just trying to create something to to the history of ballet where we can really where we can hear, legendary Black voices.
That's
Like
beautiful.
it's
That's
it's
beautiful.
it, I didn't grow up watching a ballet piece where I heard that.
Right.
And there's pieces that have been done by Dance Theater of Harlem where you're hearing these voices, but if you're gonna if I have an opportunity to go to the South and create work, why not try to expose the dancers, the creative team, and a predominantly white audience a new experience?
You talked about that's wonderful. It's beautiful. I'm riveted. I'm really, really excited to actually see it in action. And we have until November 6th. If
Yes.
anybody that's listening, you have until November 6th to check it out. Um, when you talk about the audience and you talk about the community at large,
Mhm.
um, you have had throughout your life experiences where there was diversity in ballet.
Mhm.
Um, and you've continued to hold a mantle and encourage that and present things that does encourage new audiences, like hopefully the audience that's listening on our site to come check out the ballet. Would you say it's more unexposure or more misconception when you hear things like ballet's not for us? You're a person that is working to change that, has lived your life to make sure that ballet is more inclusive. Is it unexposure or just misconception? How do we get more communities of color to attend the ballet and enjoy it just like white counterparts?
I mean, that's a really loaded question. There's a lot of reasons
Not
why.
my intention. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I'll immediately jump into like the education of dance. There's a
Sure.
lot of dancers that just don't feel like they're seen when when they are in a ballet class. And I think that changes the trajectory of dancers, of Black dancers, of where they feel they fit in and where they feel they're going to be successful. And that's a huge reason why we lack the diversity of Black dancers, because there's several moments in their training where they feel that they're never going to get the lead, or they're never going to get through this audition and really be casted. So that has been going on for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
There's conversations about the ballet body and how it serves the stage in terms of is a Black body, how does a Black silhouette look like, what do they look like on stage versus a white. There's a lot of there's a lot of factors in this. And ballet classes are expensive, and there's a lot of dancers, a lot of young hopefuls that can't afford to take ballet. So I would say there's just a lot of reasons why they're not, why the dancers are not diverse in the company, and also why the audience is not diverse. There's many of the board of directors across the country for ballet companies are predominantly white. And, you know, when we have a more diverse board of directors, then they would be requesting for different stories to come on stage. And they would be requesting for different choreographers to come on board to set work. So, yeah, it's been a long road, but I think there's a lot of organizations and a lot of Black dancers that are pushing the boundaries and pushing to be seen. And I think in the past couple of years, you've seen a shift, and people are realizing that these Black dancers have something very powerful to say in the theater.
Talk to me about that optimism, because even just talking to you and learning about your story and your journey, for someone that's not familiar with ballet, knowing that there's a Jennifer Archibald there gives me excitement, gives me optimism. Like you were just saying, recently, over the last couple of years, the requests for the types of stories have changed. Hopefully that encourages different, like you said, different dancers, different people that are involved, maybe even behind the scenes. As you go through your experience, what gives you optimism? What gives you hope that ballet is moving in the right direction to be inclusive to all?
What gives me hope? I mean, I've always
I feel like I'm setting you up. I don't mean to. I don't mean to at
No,
all.
you're not. You're not. I think when you choose dance, you have to really love it in order to make a huge commitment to what you're signing up for. And there's so much talent in the Black community, and so much talent in Black choreographers, that you can see them making work, and you can see them getting on bills, and getting on these bills that may have higher stakes in terms of like national companies. And it's happening more than it's ever happened before. Memoirs of Blacks in Ballet is an organization that began by Teresa Howard. And she was able to make a beautiful work for the Kennedy Center, where she had hired Black dancers from all over the country to perform on stage at the Kennedy Center.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. So things are happening. And I think dancers of color are really seeing their strength and seeing that they have something to offer. And you can just feel that power is brewing amongst us dance artists.
That's awesome. That's awful. Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Archibald is with me. It is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I was told this is a world premiere that's happening at the Richmond Ballet. World premiere. How long? So from concept to touching the stage on opening night, how long is the process for you to put this thing together?
I mean, I'm physically in the studio for about 3 weeks.
Mhm.
But just in terms of, brainstorming ideas and kind of living in the concept, it usually goes on for about 6 months. And also choosing the music, I've gone through about 170 songs,
Mm.
um, just like making sure that everything flows well and creating the score and making sure it makes sense and it feels good and I'm going to get a good response from the audience. It's like you're making music, you're making sure that the concept is clear, and then you're also creating the movement. I personally create movement on the spot when I go into the studio,
Oh,
so all of everything is kind of lined up. And then if you give me a great group of dancers, and the Richmond Ballet dancers were phenomenal in the process and very open to everything in terms of experimenting, the work falls into place.
that's awesome. That is awesome. Um, for the people that still have a couple of days to come and check it out, the actual piece of work, the actual presentation, what should the audience expect? What do you hope the audience sees when they come and attend?
What do I hope the audience sees? I think I just want, I just,
Your vision is your
my
vision,
vision,
the
my,
execution.
the execution. I think I wanted them to really just think about the different ideas of what love could be, and feel that potential and understand that there's still a lot of judgment that's happening. And there's different moments in the work where you go into the journey of that you're living your best day in the relationship, and then you see the highs and lows of what happens in love. And for me, when I create work, I really just always want the audience to sit back and think, and I hope that my work can resonate on an audience member where they can kind of keep it in their bodies and think about it for more than the 20 minutes that it's been on stage.
That is phenomenal, Jennifer. It's the world premiere. It's going on right now and it runs through November 6th. It's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It's at the Richmond Ballet. Where can people follow everything that you're doing? I know you have a million things going on. We were joking before we came on. I was like, I don't know how Jennifer is
Yeah,
able to do this all because it is a lot. It is a lot.
it's a lot. It is
You're
a
doing a
lot.
lot.
But yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at JArchDance. JArchDance.
Excellent, excellent. Well, everybody, please do that if you are able to make it out until November 6th. Please do so. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to talk to you and meet you, Jennifer. I
Thank
wish you the very best of luck as we've not like you need it again, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't been if you haven't been to the websites or the Instagram, please check it out because this phenomenal woman is doing. I mean, so much has already been happening. So I'm so excited to get to meet you, and I'm sure I'll be down a long rabbit hole of looking at the stuff that you've already done and obviously the new stuff that you're doing. So very excited for you.
thank you.
All
Thank
righty,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cheats Movement. Uh, until next time, we see it.
Yes.